If you really thought we were done getting news about the Marvel said, I think we ain't done yet. You know what? He gonna foam off for you. Because we just got a whole lot of insane new story details, including some brand new footage descriptions that give us some massive reveals. But on top of that, Joseph Quinn just pulled a Tom Holland and spoiled that there's gonna be at least 4 villains in this movie, as he confirmed the appearance of a very popular Fantastic Four villain. And either way, me and you know what we gotta do. We gotta talk about it. In case you didn't know, CCXP took place over this past weekend, which is another great convention where movie studios can showcase their upcoming films. And with that, Marvel Studios actually had a small presence at CCXP, specifically the Fantastic Four. Or should I say, Los Cuatro Fantásticos Primeros Pasos. Shout out Duolingo. And not only did we get this brand new poster, everybody take a moment to acknowledge it. Let me move my big ass head out of the way in case you want to crop it for yourself. But included in this presence from Marvel Studios was the entire cast of Fantastic Four. Evan Moss Bachrach, Pedro Pascal, Vanessa Kirby, and Joseph Quinn. And Vanessa Kirby actually announced that she's pregnant too, just like Sue. She told Daniel Day-Lewis, you ain't method enough, boy. But during this panel in CCXP Mexico, Marvel Studios revealed a new exclusive clip of the Fantastic Four. And dog, it's crazy. So here's everything that happened in the footage. The four are inside of their ship, and Sue is starting to go into labor, but the Silver Surfer is chasing them. Ben takes over the ship and starts trying to dodge her. They jump into some kind of hyperspace. The Silver Surfer almost reaches them, and more specifically Sue's belly, because she wants their baby. This is when Johnny takes over the ship's cannons and tries to shoot the Silver Surfer. He also makes a joke about her being sexy. And while all this shit is going down, Sue continues to have contractions. That's when Reed has a brain blast, and he tells Ben to go into a black hole. Ben gets worried. Reed says, I need you to trust me one last time. As the scene cuts to black. And I'm not seeking penance for what I've done, neighbors. I'm asking forgiveness for what I'm about to do. This means something to me, man. What I love the most about this footage description, outside of the insane reveals that I'll get into, is the dynamic and personality of each member of the Fantastic Four. Not only do you got Sue being the strong, independent, motherly figure, the glue that holds the team together, trying to be strong as she's giving birth. You got Reed literally stretching his limbs in the bounds of his mind to think of a solution. You got Ben Grimm piloting the damn spaceship. He's the best pilot I know. Best looking, he means. Is this guy good or what? And then you got the literal hothead, Johnny Storm, being the one that shoots the cannons. All while being the realest one in the room and saying what we're all thinking. Silver Surfer? She's bad as fuck. I'd sure like to shine that trophy. I'd sure like to flame on, combust on that trophy, or at least. But this is perfectly capturing the vibe and the essence of the Fantastic Four as a family. How they're spaceship travelers, some interdimensional shit. We got a black hole mention. It feels like I'm hearing someone else reading Jonathan Hickman's Fantastic Four, Mark Waid's Fantastic Four, Ryan North's Fantastic Four. But this also basically confirms that Franklin Richards is going to be the MacGuffin of the movie. And that the Silver Surfer, but really Galactus, wants Franklin. Galactus got to be the only person that sees a cute little baby and says, oh, he's powerful. I'ma eat it. I'm tired of waiting. Someone put me in a cryo chamber and wake me up on July 25th because I need the Fantastic Four first steps more than I need air. But oh, you thought we were finished? Job's not finished. Because like I mentioned, thanks to Joseph Quinn, he just let it slip that a classic Fantastic Four villain will make an appearance in this movie.
What can you reveal me about these iconic characters?
It's certainly a very stacked cast. We've got a lot of fantastic characters in there. There's also Mole Man, who's wonderful in it, but Galactus is the big bad. He's the big evil planet goblin space god. Yeah, he's a space god.
Space god.
And he's played brilliantly by the wonderful Ralph. And Silver Surfer, played by the brilliant Julia Garner. We were very lucky to work with her. She's excellent in the film. There's lots of brilliant characters in this film, that's for sure.
That's right, Joseph Quinn let it slip that Mole Man will be appearing in Fantastic Four. And Kevin Feige will be appearing in your walls, Joseph. And I'm willing to bet my house that Paul Walter Hauser is going to be our Mole Man for the MCU. Because he's the only cast member who has not been confirmed, him and Natasha Lyonne. And I have doubts that Natasha Lyonne will be Mole Man because this right here is the face of a man that looks like a mole. Man. And I want to be like, I'm shocked. But thanks to this tie-in comic for the Fantastic Four First Step, which will be released on July 2nd ahead of the movie, and will directly tie into the events of that story. But fuck all of that, because do you see Giganto? And of course, if you're a Marvel Comics fan, you should be all too familiar with what this comic is paying homage to. The ever-iconic Fantastic Four #1, which also featured our characters fighting Giganto in a similar fashion, just a little different. And Marvel really messed up by letting someone like me get this little bit of information because I get questions. And I be feeling like Jimmy Neutron because I get a brain blast. And I just start connecting dots, cashing necks, snapping necks, cashing checks, snapping necks. But I know what you guys are thinking because I can also read minds. Sammy, haha, Who's Giganto? And what does he have to do with the secret villain you've been talking about? Well, in layman's terms, Giganto is just a giant green kaiju. Was a member of the Deviants who you've seen in Eternals, but he's also done the bidding of Mole Man before. This comic all but confirms that Mole Man will be making an appearance in Fantastic Four First Steps, and it's starting to look more and more likely like my theory for how they're going to open up Fantastic Four First Steps is going to come true. Because I've been saying for a couple years now that I think Fantastic Four First Steps should steal back from the Incredibles what they took. Now, Sammy, what do I mean by that? Well, I mean the Incredibles are the best, version of the Fantastic Four we've ever seen put to screen. And I've been saying for years now, the best way to introduce the MCU's Fantastic Four is to not do the origin, but just start off with them fighting a character like Mole Man. And I want them to take a lot of inspiration from the opening of Incredibles 2, where they're fighting the Underminer. Opening up with a scene like that shows how these heroes protect their home world, how they interact with each other in the line of battle, how they use their powers. I think that's the best way to introduce them in the MCU. And that would also explain why they're seen as like celebrities and heroes on their universe, because they've already saved this place before. And thanks to this brand new comic, we also learned that the Fantastic Four First Steps is going to take place 4 years after they've gotten their powers already. But that's not the only reason why I'm confident that Mole Man will make an appearance in this movie. But on top of that, there was also set leaks a while back of Subterranea. Some excavators accidentally stumbled across the set that was left for the Fantastic Four, which was using the codename Blue Moon for its production. And here you can see Subterranea. Along with this, we also got some set videos of them going through these big ass caverns which look like Subterranea that would be able to hold someone like Giganto. But we also have these retro futuristic buses and cars and shit. So I'm telling you, Mole Man will be in Fantastic Four First Steps. Now, whether or not the action scene will actually be the beginning is a different story, because now that they put this comic out, I feel like they might address that in this comic and then lead into that. But either way, I think we're getting Mole Man, and I'm a maybe on Giganto. Maybe he only shows up for the comic. And no, I'm not talking about Namor's Giganto. That's a big ass whale. Motherfucker out here looking like Jeff's dad. I still think it's so funny that the Fantastic Four got two giant kaiju villains that are both named Giganto. I mean, first of all, the name Giganto ain't that clever, but using it twice? Hey, at least now in the MCU, if they ever want to use Giganto, now that we know that Namor's name is Namor, just call him Gigante. But don't forget that we also got John Malkovich in this movie, who's most likely playing the Red Ghost, who you should be familiar with if you watched Avengers Earth Mightiest Heroes, or you played the Rise of the Silver Surfer video game on the PS2. That's me though, because I'm Unk. And basically, he's one of the first villains the Fantastic Four ever fights. Let's just say he likes to go ape shit. But he was so enamored with the way the Fantastic Four got their powers, he traveled up into space, and at one point even warns the Fantastic Four that Galactus, yeah, he's coming. And he's not the only one. Hey, yo! But an out of left field option that I think John Malkovich could be playing is Doctor Doom's aide, Boris. I'm not sure how likely that is, but if the shoe fits, it might fit. And I mean, they gotta tease Victor Von Doom at some point, right? If I had to guess, there'll probably be some type of montage that shows how the Fantastic Four became heroes of this world, showing them defeat a bunch of their classic villains. So if you're counting at home, that's Mole Man, Red Ghost, Galactus, and Silver Surfer. 4 for 4. Speaking of Galactus, it looks like he got himself a nice little, I don't know what type of figure this is, but it looks dope as shit. If he really has a throne like this in space, when he's massive, I'm moist. But another bit of news that almost brought me to tears is that the Fantastic Four is confirmed to be the second ever MCU movie and 22nd overall film in general that will feature films that were shot in the full IMAX 1:3 ratio. And additionally, there's sections of this film that were shot in 16mm and 35mm film. Say less, they're fucking cooking. I feel like we should have expected that though, considering that WandaVision played around with not just aspect ratios. I could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure there was sections of WandaVision that were filmed on film. And either way, I need to watch this one in IMAX because I need to get more Galactus head. That's all the new news we got about the Fantastic Four. And all I really have to say is that it's truly fantastic. Let me know what you think about all this down in the comments below. And as always, like and follow for more.